Hold on to your phones because the streets are buzzing and the tea is scorching hot. Just when we thought the Dipset drama had cooled off, Camron dropped a bombshell that has left fans absolutely speechless. We're talking about a voice note leak that no one, and we mean no one, saw coming. And if you thought Chrissy Lampkin was going to take this one lying down, think again, because her reaction? Chile, it's enough to break the internet twice. In a move that has the entire hip-hop world spiraling, Camron unleashed a cryptic Instagram story, followed by a jaw-dropping audio file that allegedly features private conversations, deep confessions, and let's just say, some seriously messy receipts. Within hours, Twitter exploded, fans flooded the comments, and the reality TV world went into full meltdown mode. But it didn't stop there. As the audio made its rounds, Chrissy fired back with a clapback so bold, so personal, it left even her closest friends asking, did she just say that? With betrayals bubbling to the surface, old beefs reigniting, and trust shattered like glass, this is one story where the drama doesn't just unfold, it erupts. And we've got every jaw-dropping detail. You won't believe how it all started. The night was supposed to be low-key, just a regular Thursday evening with Camron going live, doing what he does best, talking slick and giving his fans that signature unfiltered energy. But just as folks were settling into the vibe, Cam paused, looked dead into the camera, and with the calm of a man holding a nuclear code, he said, "Yo, y'all want to hear something wild?" And that's when it all exploded. He pressed play on what sounded like a voice note. At first, the audio was muffled, but then came a voice undeniably familiar, pleading, emotional, raw. "You know I ain't never wanted it to come out like this," the voice said. But Jim had it coming. Fans immediately recognized the voice. The internet lit up like a match to gasoline. It was Chrissy. Yes, that Chrissy. And she wasn't holding back. The voice note, reportedly recorded in private during a tense moment, unveiled layers of emotion and betrayal that no one could have predicted. Her words carried pain, resentment, and something deeper. A secret. Something buried beneath years of silence and loyalty. And Camron, he just let it play. No commentary, no warnings, just vibes, or rather, chaos. Comments flooded in. Some were stunned, others outraged. "How could he do Chrissy like that?" one fan wrote. "Nah, this some real love and hip-hop season finale type drama," another posted. Meanwhile, Cam sat back smirking, clearly knowing exactly what he had done. This wasn't just content. This was a grenade lobbed into the heart of a long-standing relationship, one that had already weathered too many storms. And then came Chrissy's response. Within an hour of the voice note going viral, she went live, not with a polished statement or a carefully worded denial, but with pure, unfiltered emotion. Eyes red, voice trembling, she faced the camera and said, "So we leaking voice notes now? We doing that?" Okay. The tension in her voice was unmistakable. Let me remind y'all of something. There's two sides to every story. And Cam, you forgot I know yours. Those watching were frozen. Chrissy wasn't just upset, she was activated. This wasn't the Chrissy we'd seen holding things down quietly in the background. This was a woman scorned, and she had receipts of her own. "You want to play games? Cool," she continued. "Let's talk about who was really out here keeping secrets, who was really out here making side deals behind Jim's back. Nah, we gon' tell the whole truth tonight." What followed wasn't just a monologue, it was a full-blown exposé. She hinted at business ventures Cam had allegedly sabotaged, of past arguments that had almost led to fists flying, and of a moment years ago where loyalty was tested in a way that still haunted her. "You think this is about some old voicemail?" she said, laughing bitterly. Boy, I've been silent too long. Fans were glued to their screens, some sipping tea, others just staring in disbelief. The timelines were in shambles. Instagram, Twitter, even TikTok had people analyzing every word. Influencers jumped in. Podcasters paused their shows to address the drama mid-episode. The streets were talking, and the fire wasn't dying down anytime soon. But perhaps the most shocking twist was Jim Jones himself. Silent. Completely silent. No tweets, no posts, no cryptic emojis. For a man known to speak his mind, the silence was deafening. People began to speculate. Was he blindsided? Was he involved? Or worse, was he the one who gave Cam the voice note to begin with? Rumors flew like arrows, each more outrageous than the last. Word on the street is Jim and Cam had a secret meeting 2 weeks ago. One blog claimed. Something went down. This ain't just petty drama, this is personal. Theories emerged. Some believed Camron was lashing out after being excluded from a new project Jim was cooking up. Others said Cam was protecting someone else, and Chrissy was just collateral damage. Whatever the truth was, one thing was clear. This was no ordinary falling out. This was a decades-old friendship unraveling in front of millions. Behind the scenes, insiders started leaking more details. A former Dipset manager hinted that this ain't the first time Cam pulled a stunt like this. Another source, allegedly close to Chrissy, claimed she had been trying to mend fences for months. She didn't want this out there, they said. But now, gloves are off. And just when fans thought they had heard it all, a second voice note surfaced. Shorter, less emotional, but far more damning. Cam posted it to his close friend's story first, but it didn't stay there long. In the clip, another voice, this time male, can be heard saying, "I told Chrissy not to trust him." He always playing both sides. The internet went full detective mode. Who was the man? Was it Jim? Someone else in the circle? Within minutes, voice analysis clips started popping up online. People slowed the audio, dissected tone and accent. The consensus? It sounded a lot like Freaky Zeke. At that point, it wasn't just a scandal. It was an implosion. Old wounds reopened. Fans dug up old interviews, piecing together clues like a true crime case. That infamous Breakfast Club interview from years ago, suddenly relevant again. That tense moment on Love and Hip Hop Season 3, now viewed through a whole new lens. Everything was being reevaluated, and no one was safe. Chrissy, for her part, wasn't done either. She posted a photo the next morning, no caption, just her in all black, sipping wine and wearing a look that said, "I wish a man would." The message was clear. She wasn't backing down. She was reclaiming her narrative, one cryptic post at a time. But the drama didn't just stay online. Behind closed doors, mutual friends were being forced to pick sides. Loyalties were tested. One source revealed that a group chat including Jim, Cam, and a few other Dipset affiliates had gone dark. "Nobody's responding," they said. "It's like everyone's scared to say something and get caught in the crossfire." Still, one question lingered in everyone's minds. Why now? Why would Cam choose this moment to release that voice note? And what else did he have saved? Because if there's one thing fans knew for sure, it's that Camron never shows all his cards at once. And just as people were beginning to think things might cool down, a new player stepped into the ring. Mama Jones. Yes, Jim's mother. And if you know anything about her, you know she doesn't bite her tongue. Because once Mama Jones entered the scene, all bets were off. Within hours of Chrissy's cryptic photo, Mama Jones went live on Facebook, face freshly beat, hair wrapped, tight and eyes full of fire. "Let me tell y'all something right now," she began, with that unmistakable tone of a mother who's been holding her tongue for way too long. "Ain't nobody gonna disrespect my son and think they gon' walk away clean. Not Cam, not Chrissy, not nobody." Fans couldn't believe it. Mama Jones had stayed relatively quiet over the years, but now she was back, and she came swinging. "I always knew something was off with that boy Cam," she said, analyzing body language in old Instagram posts, timelines that suddenly didn't add up, trips Chrissy took alone. The receipts were falling into place. Chrissy, clearly watching, posted a response within an hour. No live, no rant. Just a black screen with one sentence in white text. "Never trusted her, never will." The shade was unmistakable. It was Chrissy versus Mama Jones all over again. The feud we all thought had been buried with time, now revived and nastier than ever. But things were just getting started. Behind the scenes, another twist was brewing. A close friend of Jim's, known to fans as Trey the Barber, posted a mysterious Instagram story that seemed innocent at first. A mirror selfie at his shop, with the caption, "Wild Week, pray for the family." But eagle-eyed fans noticed something in the reflection, a message board behind him that read, "Truth always cuts deeper." And suddenly, everyone wanted to know. What did Trey know? Within 24 hours, a leaked DM surfaced, allegedly from Trey, claiming that Jim and Cam had a private blow-up months ago over a money situation. The messages claimed Cam felt cut out of a deal involving a liquor brand, and that the voice note leak was Cam's way of spilling tea without taking the blame. But the most shocking line? Cam ain't even mad at Chrissy. She just got caught in the middle. Fans were floored. Was this about business all along? Was the voice note just a smokescreen for a deeper betrayal? Meanwhile, Camron remained cool as ice. He posted a story of himself in the studio, nodding to the beat, sipping from a red cup, with the caption, "When they panic, I profit." Classic Cam energy. Unfazed, unbothered, almost smug. But underneath the surface, people knew the truth. Cam was a master of chess, and he never made a move without a plan. Then came the podcast interviews. Everybody wanted a piece of the drama. Chrissy went on a popular podcast hosted by two outspoken influencers known for dragging the rich and famous, and she held nothing back. Cam been holding that voice note like a trophy. "He's sick," she said, voice steady but furious. "He used to come to our house, eat our food, and then go back. And talk crazy about us? That's not a friend, that's a fraud." She accused Cam of playing puppet master, suggesting he leaked the clip knowing it would not only humiliate her, but shake up the whole dynamic between her and Jim. "And the worst part," she said, tears welling up, "Jim ain't said a word. Not to defend me, not to deny it, nothing." That's when fans really turned on Jim. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. "How you gonna let your woman get dragged and say nothing?" one fan wrote. Others began tagging Jim in every post, demanding answers. But Jim stayed silent. Instead, he posted a single photo. Him, sitting on a stoop in Harlem, head down, eyes covered by shades, captioned, "Sometimes silence say it all." If he thought that would calm the storm, he was dead wrong. Soon, more dirt began to surface. Someone leaked an old clip from a private party years ago. Cam and Jim arguing in a corner, voices raised, hands gesturing wildly. There was no audio, but the tension was visible. "They been on thin ice," the source wrote. "This beef been simmering for a long time." And that's when the biggest twist yet dropped. A third voice note. This one didn't come from Cam. It came from an anonymous account shared to a gossip blog that thrives on tea. In the clip, Jim can be heard saying, "Chrissy don't understand. Cam my brother, but he crossed a line, and I can't keep covering for him." It was short, it was gritty, and it was real. Fans were floored. It confirmed everything. The tension, the betrayal, the quiet war that had been bubbling just beneath the surface. And just like that, the tables turned again. Now, people weren't just mad at Cam or Jim. They were confused, heartbroken, caught in the mess of what used to be one of the tightest crews in the game. Dipset wasn't just a brand, it was family. Or so we thought. And through all of this, the question still lingered. What was in that first voice note that made Cam risk it all? Because according to insiders, that wasn't the whole clip. There's more. And what's left unsaid might be even worse than what we've already heard. Part 3 reveals the moment everything truly began to unravel. And believe us, it's way deeper than just some voice note. Because right after that third audio leak, it was like the floodgates opened. Suddenly, people who had stayed silent for years started talking. Old producers, ex-friends, even a few reality TV crew members began spilling behind-the-scenes details that flipped the narrative on its head. Turns out that infamous first voice note Cam dropped, it wasn't recorded last year like everyone thought. It was actually over 3 years old. And guess who recorded it? Not Cam, not Jim, Chrissy herself. Allegedly, during a private conversation she had recorded as a just-in-case moment. And how did Cam get his hands on it? That's where the real betrayal comes in. According to an anonymous insider from a now-defunct reality production company, there was a deleted hard drive from an old pilot episode that was never aired. Chrissy had been doing a solo pitch back then, something outside of love and hip-hop, something more personal. During filming, she vented, cried, dropped names, and one of the audio files got left behind when the project got shelved. Somehow, that audio resurfaced. And guess who ended up with a copy? Cam. So now people weren't just questioning his loyalty, they were asking if he had planned this moment for years. Was this all part of a long game? Was Cam collecting ammunition while playing cool with the crew? Because this wasn't just petty. This was calculated. And it changed everything. Chrissy, when she caught wind of how old the clip was, lost it. She went live again, this time from her kitchen, pacing in a robe, wine glass in hand, fury in her voice. "You mean to tell me this man been sitting on my pain, on my trauma, waiting for the perfect time to drop it like a mixtape? Nah, that's sick. That's actual villain behavior." And fans were with her. Hashtags like "NotCam cancelled" and "Not Chrissy was right" started trending. Influencers who had once sided with Cam began walking back their comments. Even big-name artists started to chime in. One producer who worked with both Cam and Jim back in the Dipset Prime era tweeted, "I told y'all years ago, Cam play chess, not checkers, but I never thought he'd flip the board like this." Meanwhile, Jim was spiraling behind the scenes. Sources say he stopped answering calls from everyone except his manager and Mama Jones. One industry friend even claimed Jim was considering stepping away from the spotlight for a while. "He feels like he let this whole thing blow up because he didn't act fast enough," the source said. "But now, it's out of his hands." But that didn't stop the drama, because just when it felt like things had hit their peak, another woman entered the chat. Someone no one saw coming. A woman named Tasha, who claimed she used to date Cam during the early Dipset days, posted a thread on Twitter that blew everything wide open. "Cam been playing y'all for years," she wrote. "Back in 2009, he told me he had a plan to expose everyone who ever played him dirty. I thought he was just talking big. But now, I think he meant every word." Tasha went on to say Cam always kept evidence on people, recordings, screenshots, voicemails. She said he had a folder on his laptop titled "Insurance." And while she admitted she had no idea what was in it, she always thought it was weird. He used to joke that one day everyone would know the truth. "I didn't think he meant he'd actually try to ruin lives." This revelation shook fans to the core. Suddenly, the voice note wasn't just drama. It was part of a bigger, darker pattern. Was Cam holding secrets on more people? Were others at risk of being exposed? Or worse, were people now trying to silence him? And then came the DM leak that took the drama nuclear. Someone anonymously sent a private message exchange between Cam and an unknown contact to a popular gossip blog. In the DMs, Cam allegedly says, "She wanted to act brand new. Now she could remember who really run this." Fans speculated that she was Chrissy, but more importantly, it proved intent. This wasn't an accidental leak. This wasn't Cam. Chrissy responded again, this time in a chillingly calm Instagram post. It was a photo of her sitting in front of a mirror, her phone in her lap, no makeup, no filter. The caption read, "Thank you for reminding me why I keep receipts too." Fans knew what that meant. She was about to drop her own bomb, and drop it she did. A few nights later, Chrissy went live for what she called story time. She had wine, music softly playing, and her tone was unbothered but icy. She told a story from 2005 about a night where Cam showed up to Jim's house unannounced, ranting about loyalty, waiving a contract, and accusing Jim of stealing an endorsement deal. "That night changed everything," she said. "That was the first time I saw what Cam was really capable of." Then she paused, looked dead into the camera, and added, "You want to talk about voice notes? Cool, but I got video. And I dare you to make me use it." Fans went wild. The comment section exploded. "Drop the video," people begged. Others warned her not to, saying this was getting too deep, too dangerous. But Chrissy wasn't bluffing. She had something on Cam, something big. And it was only a matter of time before she used it. Backstage, behind all the lives and posts, Jim was said to be unraveling. His loyalty was being pulled in every direction. Chrissy on one side, his mother on another, and his lifelong friend Cam on the other. Sources claimed he was angry, frustrated, and stuck in a space where every decision felt like betrayal. And while the world waited to see who would make the next move, Cam, Chrissy, or Jim, a new piece of drama quietly crept into the mix. One of the Dipset affiliates, someone not as famous but well-connected, posted a tweet that simply read, "None of y'all ready for what's coming next. He got more." Everyone knew who he was, and everyone braced for the storm. Because if the first 3 voice notes had rocked the culture, what came next might just tear it apart completely. And in part 4, we uncover that final explosive, recording, and the fallout that left even longtime fans questioning everything they thought they knew. The internet was already hanging by a thread. Every blog, every meme page, every tea-spilling influencer was just waiting. No, begging for the next bomb to drop. And then, like thunder rolling in slow motion, it hit. Camron, without warning, posted a single clip to his stories. No caption, no warning, no tags, just a black screen with the words, "Y'all wanted more? Here it go." And then came the voice. This time, it wasn't Chrissy. It wasn't Jim. It was Cam himself, talking to someone off camera. The voice was low, calm, and dangerously clear. "You know what hurts the most?" he said. "I held Jim down when nobody else did. I protected Chrissy when she was out here, wildin'. And this how they repay me? They forgot who built the stage they stand on." But then came the twist no one expected. A second voice responded, faint, hesitant, but still audible. "Yo, you really gon' leak that? That's family, bro." And Cam replied, "Family don't move like that. Family don't leave you behind. They left me. Now they gotta live with what I know." Fans immediately recognized the second voice. It was Freaky Zeke. Suddenly, it was clear. Cam wasn't operating solo. He had co-signers, allies, people who had stood by and watched the cracks in Dipset deepen for years. And now, they were finally admitting what many suspected. The loyalty had been broken long ago. It wasn't just a beef between Cam and Jim. It was a slow-motion collapse of something sacred. Dipset was never just about music. It was about brotherhood, about surviving together. And now, that foundation was crumbling in front of the world. Backlash came fast. Chrissy posted a cryptic message. "So this was all planned. Good to know." Then she unfollowed Cam, Freaky Zeke, and 3 other affiliates linked to the drama. Fans noticed immediately and turned it into a trend. Chamun followed for a reason. But the biggest shock came from an unexpected source. Juju. Yes, Juju, Cam's ex, the one woman who had always kept her cool, stayed classy, and avoided the mess. But this time, she had something to say. She posted a video. Makeup flawless, lighting perfect, nails sharp, and she let it all out. "I stayed quiet for years out of respect, but seeing Cam do all this, airing private convos, hurting people, he used to love. Nah, that's not the man I knew, or maybe it was, and I just didn't want to see it." Her words hit hard. Fans flocked to support her. "Juju always been the realist," one wrote. "If even she's saying something, you know Cam out of pocket." And Juju wasn't done. She revealed that during her last year with Cam, he would constantly bring up falling outs waiting to happen. She said he had a list, a literal list, of people who had crossed him. "He'd read it to me like it was a bedtime story," she said, laughing bitterly. "I thought it was a joke. Now, not so funny." Meanwhile, Jim finally broke his silence. No live, no long caption, just a 3-minute video posted to his feed. He was sitting in the studio, chain swinging, hoodie on, and he looked tired. Not sad, tired. Like a man carrying too many secrets. For too long. "Look," he said, staring directly into the camera, "I ain't never been perfect. I ain't never claimed to be. But what y'all seeing? This ain't how we supposed to handle stuff. I've been through real life, street life, and this internet ain't it." He didn't mention Cam or Chrissy by name, but the pain in his voice was clear. "I just want peace. I want my family right. I want the people I came up with to stop turning into enemies for likes and clicks. We bigger than this. Or at least, we used to be. But the internet doesn't. Forgive easily, the comment section was a mess. Some fans praised Jim for taking the high road. Others accused him of dodging accountability. And some, the ones who had been ride or die Dipset fans since the early 2000s, just mourned what was lost. "This ain't beef," one user wrote. "This a funeral for the culture." And as if that wasn't enough, a 4th voice note leaked. This time, from a completely unknown source. A voicemail allegedly left on Chrissy's phone by Cam over a year ago. In it, Cam sounds drunk, slurring, emotional, and angry. "You think he love you more than I ever did? You really think he gonna ride for you when it get dark?" he says in the clip. "He don't even know what you been hiding." That one line, "what you been hiding," set the internet ablaze. Was Cam suggesting Chrissy had secrets too? Something even Jim didn't know. Was this drama really just scratching the surface? Within minutes, conspiracy theories exploded. Reddit threads popped up breaking down Chrissy's timeline, her business ventures, even her past appearances on TV. People speculated about everything from secret relationships to financial scandals, to potential betrayal on her part. Chrissy responded with silence. Not a post, not a tweet, not a story, but insiders say she's planning something big. "She's had enough," one close friend told a gossip site. "She's about to flip this whole thing upside down." And all the while, Cam kept posting cryptic images. One showed a chessboard mid-game with the words "checkmate" written in cursive. Another post was just an hourglass. Fans couldn't tell if he was trolling, plotting, or both. People were exhausted, but they couldn't look away. This wasn't just a story, it was a saga, and everyone was waiting for the final chapter. But before we reach the end, Part 5 takes us into the moment everything comes crashing down. It all started with an unexpected announcement. A surprise. Appearance by Jim Jones on a popular Nicey-based live talk show known for ambushing guests with real questions, real drama, and zero filter. The promo dropped at midnight. No warning, just Jim sitting in a studio, mic in front of him, looking like he had a whole storm to unload. The caption, "Jim speaks, Friday, no edits." The internet went into a frenzy. By the time the episode aired, more than 1 million people were already watching live. And he confirmed it all. The business fallout, the years of tension with Cam, the moments when things almost got physical behind the scenes. "We had love, real love. That man was my brother," Jim said, clenching his fist. But when he start recording people, leaking private convos, weaponizing pain, that's not brotherhood. That's war. Then came the reveal. Jim pulled out a flash drive. This right here, this got everything. Texts, voice notes, video clips, proof that Cam been moving funny since 2016. He didn't play them live, but he promised a full drop if Cam tried to deny any of it. The message was loud and clear. "I got receipts too. Don't test me," but while fans were still catching their breath, Cam went live the same night. From his infamous pink couch, Cam turned on his phone and faced the world. No music, no jokes, just him, serious, locked in. "I see Jim want to play tough now," he started. "Flash drives, interviews, that's cute. But let me remind y'all of something. I held it down for this man. When the label turned on him, I stayed. When the money dried up, I fed the whole crew. And he repays me by siding with someone who was never really one of us." Cam didn't stop there. He dragged Chrissy too. She got in his ear, turned him against the family, made him choose her over loyalty. And now, she want to play victim. "Miss, I got receipts. Girl, please." Chrissy didn't wait this time. Within minutes of Cam going live, she posted a 1-minute video that broke the internet. No music, no edits, just her in the backseat of a black SUV, her eyes cold. Her words sharper than glass. "You had years to tell your truth, and you waited until your pride got bruised. You waited until Jim cut you out of deals. You waited until you had nothing left but old files. You're not a king, Cam. You're a hoarder with a grudge." The clip was shared by everyone. Celebrities, influencers, even people outside the culture who didn't know Dipset from Destiny's Child were reposting it. It wasn't just a roast, it was a cultural moment. And that moment marked a turning point. Because after that, the fans started choosing sides for real. Some stood with Cam, arguing he was only defending himself. Others backed Chrissy, calling her the only one with real backbone in this mess. And a surprising number actually turned on Jim, blaming his silence, his indecision, his disappearing act during the chaos. And then the unthinkable happened. A group chat leak. Someone, no one knows who, posted screenshots of an alleged group chat between Cam, Jim, Freaky Zeke, and a few other Dipset members. The messages were explosive. Cam calling Chrissy the root of it all. Freaky begging them to stop going public. Jim typing, "I'm done with all of y'all." And then, the most haunting line of all, from Cam, "This ain't beef. This, the end," fans cried. Literally. Grown men posted videos saying they felt like their childhood died. Dipset was more than music. It was memory. And now it was dust. But if you thought that was the last twist, hold on. 3 days later, Chrissy posted a teaser clip from what appeared to be a new project. A docu-series, with the working title, Loyalty, the truth behind the chaos. In the clip, she sits in a chair under a spotlight, voice soft but clear. "For years, I let people tell my story for me. Now, I'm telling it myself. No edits, no filters, no lies." The world went insane. Bloggers speculated that the doc would feature never-before-seen footage from the early love and hip-hop days, behind-the-scenes clips from unreleased episodes, and, get this, private sit-downs with cast members. Who witnessed the tension between Cam, Jim, and Chrissy firsthand, Cam responded with a simple post. Cap. But fans weren't buying it anymore. The tide was shifting. And for the first time in a long time, Cam seemed nervous. And just when it looked like the dust was settling, a video clip surfaced out of nowhere. Grainy, phone recorded, but clear. Enough to make out. It showed Cam and Jim backstage at a concert screaming at each other, security standing between them, hands flying, Cam yelling, "You picked her over us!" Jim yelling back, "You made it easy!" And then Jim said the up, words that would echo across the culture forever. "You ain't my brother no more." That was it. The final nail. Fans watched in silence. No comments, no jokes. Just heartbreak. The Dipset dream was over. And this time, it wasn't coming back. But as the dust settles and the wounds begin to scab over, one question remains. Who really betrayed who? So now, after weeks of leaks, live streams, cryptic captions, and internet-breaking voice notes, the story has come full circle. The brotherhood that once defined a generation, the loyalty that seemed untouchable, and the love triangle that lived in the shadows of fame, it all shattered in front of millions. Camron, once seen as the calculated genius behind the scenes, exposed himself as both mastermind and villain. Chrissy, long portrayed as the ride or die, stepped into the spotlight with her own vengeance. And Jim Jones, the man caught in the middle, was forced to choose between blood and bond, and in the end, lost both. The Dipset legacy now feels more like a cautionary tale than a celebration, and fans are left picking sides in a war that has no winners. Questions still linger. What was Cam really holding back? What's on that flash drive Jim never released? And will Chrissy actually air out the full story in her docuseries? Or is this just chapter 1 in an even messier saga? One thing's for sure, the culture will never be the same again. But now, we want to hear from you. Whose side are you on? Did Cam go too far? Or was he just defending himself? Is Chrissy a hero? Or just playing the game better than anyone else? And what about Jim? Was his silent strength or betrayal? Let us know in the comments below. No filter. No holding back. If this wild ride had you glued to your screen, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another drop of drama. Because over here, we don't spill tea. We pour gallons. This has been your exclusive deep dive into the Camron Voicenote saga. Until the next explosion, stay messy, stay loud, and stay watching.